Welcome to today's tourism lesson. My name is Evans Maboni. This lesson is brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Saibono Discovery Center. During the lesson, you may have questions to ask. Please contact us on this WhatsApp number, that is 079 578 2908. For your queries on WhatsApp, we are reachable on 079 578 2908. Right, grade 12 learners. Today's knowledge area derives from the concept marketing. The topic is marketing, and the subtopic is marketing South Africa as a tourist destination. Not only as a tourist destination, but a preferred tourist destination or a destination of choice. Let's look at the lesson objectives. What you need to know. By the end of this lesson, you must be able to know and understand the following. Number one, the importance of marketing South Africa internationally. Two, the core business of SA tourism or South African tourism. Opportunities for marketing South Africa internationally. You must also know and understand South African tourism, that is SA tourism, its role in marketing South Africa as a destination of choice. We'll also look into the funding of SA tourism in international marketing initiatives. We'll also look or reflect on the South African brand logo. We'll also look as well into the introduction to South Africa's travel endeavor. These are your lesson objectives, and as we move further, we have to look at where the lesson will be assessed, where this topic, marketing South Africa as a destination of choice, will be assessed formally during this year. So you'll come across questions on marketing South Africa in section C of your final exam paper. That will be your question 6. And you'll also come across questions from marketing South Africa as a destination from section A, that is your question 1, short questions. This topic will also be assessed in controlled tests. It will also be assessed in the skills assessment task, in the PET, in the preliminary examination, and of course in the final examination, as we have alluded to. Now let's look at the importance of marketing South Africa internationally. Key to this will be an increase in annual volume of foreign arrival. By marketing South Africa internationally, we want to get an increase in the number of tourists, in the volume of tourists from foreign countries that are visiting South Africa. That is the intention, that is the aim, to increase the volume or to increase the number or to derive growth of foreign arrivals to South Africa. We want to get as more or as many tourists from international communities that will visit South Africa. In further explaining this, a tourist arrival in South Africa in 2019 was 10.22 million, according to Statistics South Africa, compared to 10.7 million that we have experienced in 2018. As you can see, there is a drop of about 0.15 million people. So there was a significant drop by just under a million people that visited South Africa from international communities. If foreign tourists visit our country, they will spend their money on tourist products, and this leads to an increase in revenue, which will increase the GDP of South Africa. Remember, GDP stands for the gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is the total number of goods and services produced in a country in 1 year. So we'll realize an increase in the GDP if we receive a high number of foreign tourists, because they will spend their money on tourism products. What are these tourism products? We are referring to the fees or the amount they will pay on accommodation. We are referring to the amount they will pay on transport. We are referring to the amount that they will pay on activities, entrance to our attractions, and food and beverages. So these are the tourism products which tourists are compelled to spend their money on. And this leads to an increase in revenue, in the money that South Africa gets. It boosts the economy of South Africa, and this leads to an increase in the gross domestic product. As we move on with the importance of marketing South Africa internationally, it has ability to create more job opportunities. So more jobs will be created when South Africa is marketed adequately to international communities. People will earn salaries from the jobs and other welfare projects that is aimed at improving their lives. So welfare, social welfare products, we mean to facilities like hospitals, facilities like schools. We are able to provide such facilities if South Africa is marketed well internationally. It also leads to greater prosperity for all in South Africa. Prosperity here means South Africa will be now considered a rich country because it gets money from different angles, but here mainly from the tourism perspective. Therefore, marketing is regarded as a very important aspect to attract more tourists in our country. So if we sell our product, if we market our product efficiently, then we have a potential of acquiring all the riches in the world. So that makes marketing South Africa as a tourism destination very important. These are just but an estimation of how tourism contributes to the economy of South Africa. And we come to realize that South Africa contributes about 9.2% of the total employment in the country. Most people who are employed in the country are found in the tourism sector, that is equivalent to 9.2. So in South Africa, we have 1.5 million people employed in the tourism sector. 1.5 million of the total population is employed in the tourism sector. You can now realize the bigger role that tourism plays in as far as providing employment opportunities to South Africa. Thus, it makes it important to sell South Africa to international communities so that we realize more growth in job or employment opportunities. As we further explore the importance of marketing South Africa internationally, it also increased in international awareness of South Africa as a travel destination. So by marketing South Africa, we make people aware that there is a country known as South Africa which has a lot to offer, which has a lot of tourism activities to offer. So it makes it a travel destination and people become aware. So as we further explore this increase in awareness, it increases the number of international tourists that visit South Africa. Marketing must be done through different platforms. Those platforms are through media, through internet, and other platforms to make tourists aware of what the country has to offer as a tourist destination. Right, in modern language, you will speak of social media, your TikTok, your WhatsApp, your Facebook. Those are other platforms that will help us market South Africa as a destination of choice, that will make other international communities aware of what we have to offer. We can upload pictures or scenery of various attractions in South Africa and post them on Facebook, on Telegram, on Instagram, and other social media to market South Africa as a destination of choice. The other way of increasing awareness is through national and international tourism exhibition show that we'll look into as we further continue with the discussion of this topic. As we move on with the importance of marketing South Africa internationally, one other reason is to increase the number of foreign arrivals. South Africa must be marketed so that people know about it. Target markets that show potential. These are the people we want to know as much as possible about South Africa. Those are our target markets. These markets include great natural beauty, varied topography, as well as cultural diversity. These are areas that will help us market South Africa. Naturally, South Africa is beautiful. It has the oceans, beautiful weather, the mountains, sceneries that are so attractive to foreign nationals. So it's best for us to showcase all what we can offer to international communities. Very topography here, we are referring to various slopes, the mountains, the hills that South Africa can offer, the vegetation, the plants, all what makes South Africa naturally beautiful. So it's embedded in the concept of topography. And also the Rainbow Nation, that apart from racial distinctions that we have, the cultures, different cultures that we portray, that can be also an important tool for us to market South Africa internationally. We can also help market South Africa by volunteering to host global events. In the past, we have hosted the World Cup. We have hosted different seminars that involves world leaders. By hosting such world events, we are showcasing what we are offering as South Africa. Obviously, when people visit here for a conference, they will have to see other secondary attractions. The main purpose of the visit is attending a conference, but how do they spend their leisure? They will have to explore some different attractions that South Africa is offering. So hosting global events also assists in marketing South Africa. It's a destination of choice. Now, grade 12s, let us look at the benefits of marketing South Africa. Number one, it boosts the revenue of the economy. We have mentioned this before. So the economy, or the circulation of money within the economy, becomes boosted. We become a stable country economically. We become a stable country financially. With that, we can create opportunities for people in the country. We can create more jobs, and the economy will run as fluidly as it can because of marketing what we have, products. And products here, we are mainly referring to the tourism products. Also, it creates thousands of jobs. So job opportunities, if South Africa is well marketed, it has a potential of creating more jobs for its own people. Marketing South Africa also benefit the country because we will be able to develop the infrastructure to meet international standards. By infrastructure, we refer to the roads that we have. We're referring to the hospitals, the schools, the hotels. So marketing benefits us in a sense that we are able to develop the infrastructure of the country. Plants a sense of cultural exchange between foreigners and citizens. So it has a benefit of cross-cultural relations. So we get to learn foreign cultures, whereas in exchange, they learn a lot from us. That it has that cultural exchange benefit. So by marketing South Africa, then we are promoting, or we get to learn other people's culture, and in return, they learn from us. The core business of South African tourism, SA tourism. What is this SA tourism? This is a national tourism agency that is responsible for marketing South Africa as a destination, as a tourism destination, internationally and domestically. That is on the home front. So it is an organization in South Africa. It is a government parastatal. So it's partly owned by the government, and its function is to market South Africa as a tourist destination of choice. Now let's look at the core business of this organization. The core business of SA Tourism, firstly, is to market South Africa internationally as a destination of choice or as a preferred destination. Another core business of SA Tourism is that of maintaining and enhancing the standard of facilities and services for tourists. It helps in the maintenance and improvements of standard of facilities to compete against the rest of the world. So the facilities here, we are referring to our accommodation facilities, our transport facilities. So this organization, this agency called SA Tourism, is always on guard to make sure that we provide the best facilities for our foreign tourists. We enhance our facilities in such a way that they will match the required international standards. And it is also focusing on improving services to tourists. So tourism is service orientated. Tourism is service inclined. So we must make it a point that we provide the best tourist experience so that we can realize repeat visits, we can get good word of mouth. So these are some of the standards that SA Tourism is hoping or looking forward to maintaining. One of its other role is that of coordinating the marketing activities of role players in the industry. Role players here, we are referring to participants, all those people who participate in bringing up the best tourism product to the tourists are referred to as role players. Now, here we are referring to those travel agents, we are referring to businesses that are operating in the tourism industry, the hotel groups, the travel sector, the accommodation sector, as well as the restaurant and the banking services. All organizations that are involved in delivering a tourism product are role players in the tourism industry, and their activities have to be marketed. Tourist information centers in big potential countries. So one of the roles of South Africa's tourism, one of the core business, is to make sure that they put information in big centers in those foreign countries that have a potential to boost the revenue of the economy of this country. These are the contact details, or when you need further information about SA Tourism, you can visit this website indicated here, that is on www.southafrica.net. So that is where activities, that is where the tourism products are showcased on a social media platform. And also, SA Tourism's core business is to host international events. That helps in the marketing of the country to international communities. Here are the opportunities for marketing South Africa internationally. These are the two major platforms where South Africa is marketed internationally. Two major events that helps in the marketing of South Africa. The first one is ITB Berlin and the WTM, which is the World Travel Market, which is hosted in London. The ITB is hosted in Berlin. Berlin is in Germany. So we get platform every year to showcase what South Africa has to offer to international communities. So it was last held in March from the 10th to the 14th in Berlin in 2021. And the World Travel Market, which is in London. London is in England, and the WTM was held from the 7th to the 9th of November in 2022. These are typical examples of how South Africa can showcase its product in international markets. Now let us explore these two platforms where South Africa is given a stand to showcase what it has to offer. The first one we said is ITB Berlin. It refers to the world's largest travel trade show or trade fair. It takes place annually in March at Messe, Berlin. Berlin, remember we said it's in Germany, and the continent, it's Europe. So here, 10,000 exhibitors from more than 180 countries of the world and regions partake in this convention. So it's a meeting of more than 180 countries to showcase what they have to offer for tourists. South Africa is one amongst the 180, and it is represented by SA Tourism. So SA Tourism is allocated a plate in the ITB Berlin to showcase what the country has to offer. Tourism marketers, tour operators, booking organizations, hotels, airlines, car rental companies, tourist boards, and system providers meet to attend the ITB and market their country as a tourist destination. So South Africa does participate in ITB Berlin, which we said it takes place every year in March, and the host city is Messe, Berlin. The ITB Berlin offers a unique opportunities to learn about different countries and regions all over the globe in one place. So you have the world in one city during that time. In that week of March, you get to see, or you are spoiled for choice as to which countries offer the best products or which country you intend to visit. South Africa also partakes and has a stand in the convention. We have alluded to this, and this is the logo to represent the event, ITB Berlin. And this is the slogan, which reads, "The world's leading travel trade show." So if you see this logo, you must identify it with one of the trade shows to showcase where over 180 countries showcase their tourism product. Second to that is the World Travel Market, which is in short WTM, and is hosted in London, which we said it's in England, and both countries, Germany and England, are in Europe. So this gives South Africa a perfect opportunity to market the tourism product at an international platform, and most particularly in the continent of Europe. Here with WTM, you have over 5,000 exhibitors to showcase destination, products and services, over 30,000 visitors. It enables the growth and development of global travel industry. That is one of the advantages of the WTM. This is an opportunity for global tourism to get together, to network, discuss, and perform business in one place, therefore attract key customers to the exhibitors. So this picture illustrates how it looks like in London during the World Travel Market. Funding for South African tourism, International Marketing Initiative. Right. Firstly, there is an organization called TOMSA, which came with the initiative to collect 1% levy from accommodation, transport, and other sectors, which helps to fund marketing South Africa as a tourism destination. TOMSA is a private sector initiative created to raise additional funds for marketing South Africa internationally. TOMSA is an organization that collects money, which helps market South Africa internationally. Tourism businesses such as accommodation, car rental, tour operators, and travel agent collect a voluntary levy, from tourists. So TOMSA, which is a private sector initiative, collects 1% levy. The businesses pay the levies to Tourism Business Council of South Africa via TOMSA. So TOMSA will collect the money and hand it over to Tourism Business Council of South Africa, that is TBCSA, which is the administrator of funds. And this administrator will then pass on the 1% levy, which was collected by TOMSA, that is a private sector initiative, and it hands it over to SA Tourism to market South Africa, both domestically and internationally. Funding for SA Tourism as we proceed, international marketing initiatives. we have alluded to TBCSA, which makes the fund available to SA Tourism. SA Tourism uses the funds to market South Africa both domestically and internationally. So the acronym TBCSA stands for Tourism Business Council of South Africa, and this is the logo, and this is the slogan, which says "One Voice for Tourism." Funding for SA Tourism, as illustrated here. Here you can see our tourists are queuing to make their travel arrangement or to pay for product and services. And as they pay this for these products and services, for these attractions, as indicated here, 1% of their contribution goes to TOMSA, and TOMSA takes the fund to TBCSA, which is the administrator of the fund, and TBCSA gives the fund to SA Tourism to market South Africa as a destination of choice. Funding for SA Tourism International Marketing Initiative, that is Tourism Levy South Africa, this is your TOMSA, and this is the logo, and this is the slogan, adding value to tourism. So tourism, as an organization, collects the 1% levy and hands it over to Tourism Business Council of South Africa. Tourism Business Council of South Africa will then give the funds to SA Tourism to market South Africa as a destination of choice. I hope I make a lot of sense in my explanation, great terms. Funding for South Africa Tourism International Marketing Initiative, as we continue. As you can see, these are the stakeholders. These are all the role players which help in the collection of 1% levy. And as you can see, the largest contributor are hotels, and it is followed by car rental, and you can see the resorts and game lodges have a thin boundary separating them. Guest houses, travel agency, all the stakeholders are given a share of their contribution to TOMSA, and the biggest, of course, we said are hotels, and TBSA, it's an organization that administers all these collections, all these 1% levy that are derived from the tourist spending. Funding for SA Tourism, as we move on, here is another representation. Firstly, it starts with the tourist. The tourist visits our country. Tourism, and here are their needs. They will need accommodation. They will pay for the tour operator, the car rental, attraction and travel agencies. And in every respect here, they are charged 1% levy. And TBSA through TOMSA collect the funds, and it hands it to SA Tourism, and SA Tourism use this for marketing activities. A collaborative fund project helps in the marketing of South Africa as a tourist destination. This diagram simplifies the whole explanation as to how SA Tourism is funded, how it gets its money that it uses to market South Africa as a tourist destination. Here is another diagrammatic representation. It shows the tourists here arriving, and they pay for accommodation. They also pay for car rental to move them around the attractions, and 1% levy is collected by TONSA, and they will pay, the hotels will pay the 1% directly to TOMSA, which is a collecting body, car rentals as well, and then the money is transferred to TBCSA. TBSA will hand the money to SA Tourism, and SA Tourism will use the funds for marketing South Africa as a destination of choice, and also for maintaining the facilities around the attractions, and coordinating quality service delivery to people, to tourists, so to say. The concept branding South Africa. So here we are going to look into South Africa's brand logo. So what is a brand? A brand refers to a name, a slogan, or a symbol, or a combination of the name, the slogan, and the symbol of this identifies the offering of business or destination to make it stand out from its competitors. So the logo separates one business from the rest of the others, from other competitors. This is a distinctive brand image that can make a business easily recognizable, that makes a business to stand alone or to stand out and convey a specific message to customers, to tourists. So it makes us, this symbol, this image makes you to identify the business before you can even read its name. You know the brand logo for KFC. Immediately you see that old man. Before you can even see it's written KFC, you already know the name by looking at the picture or the image. So it separates it from the rest of other businesses in the same industry. It helps to create a positive, unified image of South Africa. That is South Africa's brand logo. A brand is built on pride. It represents the pride that South Africans has. It is a recognizable brand to promote South Africa on an international platform. It enables South Africa to function as a competitive destination in the global. So the brand logo makes South Africa to compete with its counterpart around the world. A strong brand position of our country as an attractive destination partner for trade and investment. These are the pluses that we derive from the brand logo. So the concept of branding, that is South Africa's brand logo, it looks like this. So as soon as you see this, it represents the brand logo for South African tourism, and the slogan, it says inspiring new ways. So this is a recognizable global brand that inspires positive thoughts and feelings about the country and will convince people to travel to South Africa. So by mere seeing this brand logo, and before you can explain the colors indicated, it is attractive and has a potential of bringing lots and lots of tourists, or lots and lots of tourists would want to come and explore or experience South Africa. It showcases South Africa's successes and motivates investors' confidence. So that's why we have arrived at this brand logo. So we use it for marketing activities of South Africa International. Inspiring New Ways is the current logo for South African tourism and Brand South Africa. BrandSouthAfrican.com refers to the organization that was tasked with the promotion of South Africa as a brand. Brand South Africa's role is to create a positive, unified image of South Africa, one that builds pride. So it's based on national building. So this is the brand logo of our country. Other opportunities to promote South Africa and the Southern African region, that is the SADC, to the world. So we are not selfish as South African. We help our neighboring countries from SADC to also be recognizable on an international platform. There are two major events that promote South Africa and Southern African region as destination of choice. So the first one is Africa's Travel Indaba, or the Tourism Indaba. As you can see here, there is this welcome picture showing that everyone from different countries, from different community, is welcome to this country. There's also the Gateway Show that is hosted in Cape Town and Johannesburg. And these are the two provinces, that is Gauteng and Western Cape, responsible for hosting the Gateway Show. So as you can see, the picture demonstrate what activities are happening during the Gateway. Africa's Travel Indaba is hosted in Durban, that is KwaZulu-Natal. It's Africa's Travel Indaba, or it's better known as Tourism Indaba. So the Durban International Convention Center, the ICC, and the Durban Exhibition Center, that is DEC, in KwaZulu-Natal, that's where this event is held. It is the largest tourism marketing event on the South African calendar, owned by South African Tourism and organized by Synergy Business Events, Pty Ltd. Inbound tour operators, foreign travel agents, airlines, DMC, online booking companies, as well as transport operate during this Africa's Travel Indaba, which is held in Durban. The Cape Gateway, it's in the Western Cape, is the largest travel outdoor and adventure event in Cape Town, Stellenbosch. It is held annually in March, and it attracts over 110 exhibitors and also attracts 5,100 visitors. And this is the logo, and it portrays the event taking place in 2019. That is 5-6 years back, when this was held in Cape Town. Grade 12 learners, this is what forms the basis of our discussion. I want us to take a 5 minutes break, and when we get back, we'll look into typical questions that you might come across during assessment. Can we take a 5 minutes break? And when we get back, we'll further explore marketing South Africa as a destination of choice through activities. Welcome back, Great Health Learners. Remember to post your questions, your misunderstanding to this WhatsApp number, that is 079 578 2908. Now, before we get into activities of the topic of the day, I want us to quickly recap on what we have learned. Remember, the main topic is marketing, and the subtopic for our discussion is marketing South Africa as a tourist destination. Under those headings, we have looked into the benefits of marketing South Africa as a destination of choice, what entails marketing. We have also looked into the benefits of marketing South Africa as a destination of choice. We've looked into the organization responsible, or the agency responsible for marketing South Africa, which is SA Tourism. We've looked into how SA Tourism is funded. We've looked into the role of TOMSA in collecting funds. We've looked into Tourism Business Councils of South Africa as the fund administrator, as well as how it transfers the money into South African tourism, and how SA Tourism uses the money for marketing, for maintenance of facilities and services that are offered to tourists. We also looked into platforms that assist in marketing tourism as South Africa as a tourism destination of choice. And we looked from the international stage. We've looked into the ITB Berlin, as well as the WTM, which is held in London. From Africa's perspective, where we have looked into the Indaba, the Tourism Indaba, which is held in Durban, as well as the Gateway Show, which is held in Cape Town and Johannesburg. That's how far we have gone. And that sums up the topic of marketing South Africa as a destination of choice. So let's quickly look into how this topic it's assessed, the typical questions that forms part and parcel of marketing South Africa as a tourist destination. So we have alluded to the fact that it is assessed in question 6 of the final examination paper, and this is one typical scenario where a question from marketing is asked. It says, study the information and the online page below to answer the questions that follow. Let's quickly read through the information. It says, new Google Arts and Culture app online. Google Arts and Culture and SA Tourism launched the online exhibition South Africa, an explorer's paradise, in February 2021. Visitors from all over the world can explore South Africa virtually through a collection of 500 images and videos, 55 street views, and 20 digital stories. The online exhibition is the first phase in celebrating South Africa's diverse people, its rich cultural heritage, and its breathtaking landscape. And as we look into my hand right side, it says Google Arts and Culture, and you have the South Africa's brand logo, inspiring new ways, South Africa, an explorer's paradise, that is the heading, part one of a journey to the breathtaking views and thrilling mature of South Africa. This has been adopted to the website, from the website given below, that is www.mediaexpose.co.za. That's where this information was extracted from. Question 6.1, as we have indicated, the first number indicates the question number. So this topic is assessed in question 6, and 6.1 says identify the organization responsible for reigniting the local tourism industry through innovative marketing of South Africa as an international destination of choice. And the correct answer to that effect is South African tourism, or you may just simply say SA tourism. So this is not acceptable. SAT is incorrect. So only these two options will give you a total of 2 marks. 6.2, it says, explain 2 ways in which the online exhibition will fulfill the core function of coordinating marketing activities for 4 marks. So you have to give 2 facts and 2 marks each. So in answering 6.2, you are expected to say partnership with industry, role players unify the advertising efforts. Or you can say media such as Google Arts and Culture assist in exposing what South Africa has to offer to domestic and international markets. So you'll get another 2 marks. So the following are other acceptable answers to address 6.2, the question 6.2. The use of the Inspiring New Ways logo provides brand identity to attract more tourists to a recognized destination. Another alternative, bringing together various images, videos, street views, and stories show South Africa's diversity in culture and scenery to the rest of the world. Also, using an online platform connects SA tourism marketing efforts to a virtual reality and the global digital world. And lastly, it is a cost-effective platform to market South Africa both domestically and internationally. So those are the core function of coordinating marketing activities as listed. Here is another activity. It says, identify one branding strategy on the online page above. In responding to that, South Africa's brand logo, Inspiring New Ways slogan, sharing Google Arts and Culture, branding South Africa's an explorer's paradise. Those are the branding strategies, some of the branding strategies on the online page as elucidated on the online page that we read through. 6.4, it asks, branding and online marketing are expensive. Discuss one way in which the organization identified in question 6.1 receive private sector funding. Right. We talked about this during the discussion at length, that TBSA pays money collected from the levy contributors to SA Tourism. TOMSA, which is a private sector initiative responsible for collecting the 1% levy, is collected by participating tourism businesses from tourists. Those were the answers for the activity. Let's look at a set of activity that comes from one of the national question papers. It says Africa's Travel Indaba. Remember, the Travel Indaba is held annually in Durban, and this was the 2022 version of the Africa's Travel Indaba. Let's read through what is entailed inside. It says, Africa Stories, your success. Tell your story at Africa's biggest travel trade show that happened on the 3rd to the 5th of May 2022 at the Durban International Convention Center, 2 May 2022, Bond Day. Africa's Travel Indaba. So this was the expectation set for the 2022 version of the Africa's Travel Indaba, where the people from South Africa and the SADC countries involved were given a platform to tell or to relate their story about their country at this biggest travel show. Now, let's examine the questions. It says 6.1, give the definition of a travel trade show. Here are your answers. A travel trade show refers to an event where tourism-related businesses are given the opportunity to exhibit and promote their product services. Businesses participating in the tourism industry are afforded an opportunity to showcase or exhibit and promote their products and services. That is what is meant by travel trade show. Or one can also say an event where the major role players in the tourism industry can network in order to establish new business partnership. Network here, they can exchange views, they can exchange ideas that will lead towards establishing a new business relationship, a new business partnership, or bring about new ideas into their existing businesses. Or one could also answer the question by saying, it is an event where buyers, such as tour operators, can negotiate business deals with exhibitors. Where buyers, such as tour operators, can negotiate business with exhibitors. So they negotiate on behalf of tourists to get special or cheaper prices, or say goods and services at cheaper prices. So tour operators will negotiate on behalf of tourists for cheaper packages from service providers that we refer to as exhibitors. 6.2 of activity 2, it says SA Tourism uses Africa's Travel Indaba to market South Africa nationally and internationally. Name one other travel trade show held in South Africa. That is the Gateway Show, which is held in Cape Town and Johannesburg. Meetings Africa, it's one such example. It's also held in Johannesburg or Cape Town. We also have the Africa's Travel Indaba, which we said it's held in KwaZulu-Natal, Durban, at the Durban International Convention Center. We also have the World Travel Market, WTM, which mainly takes place in Cape Town. All these 4 options answers the question for 2 marks. Still on activity 2, 6.3, it says, explain 3 steps on how the 1% levy collected from tourism businesses is used to market South Africa. This is for 6 marks. You have to explain 3 steps. So you have to name your step as 1, 2, 3. And there is, in responding to this question, one would say, participating tourism businesses collect 1% levy from tourists. And participating tourism businesses here, we are referring to accommodations, that is your hotels, your car rental, and other service providers in the tourism industry. The tour operators will collect 1% levy from tourists. That is the first step, and for saying that you get 2 marks. Step 2, this money is paid to TOMSA on monthly basis, who then makes it available to TBSA for another 2 marks. So after the hotels, the car rentals have collected the 1% levy, they pay it to an organization called TOMSA, that is your Tourism Levy South Africa, and this is collected on monthly basis, and it is made available to TBSA, which is Tourism Business Council of South Africa. And the last step, which is step number 3, TBCSA, as an administrator of funds, then pays money to SA Tourism, and this is used to market South Africa as a tourist destination. Those are some typical activities that I wanted to share with you on this lesson. Right, grade 12 learners, please remember that this topic is very critical, it's a very crucial one. From the past experience, most of you or the past learners were not doing well in this topic. It is one of the poor performing topics, so it is important for you to understand this topic by heart. It is a simple one as we explain it, but you have to put a lot of sense to it, to put a lot of logic as you study it. Right. As I reflect back on the objective of this lesson, it says you need to know and understand the role of SA tourism in marketing South Africa as a destination of choice, the benefits of marketing South Africa as a benefit of choice. And as we look into these benefits, most of you are quickly to answer the questions by saying the benefits are job creation. So in every respect, when you are asked a question where you are expected to give the benefits, most of you jump into conclusion that it creates job opportunities. Yes, we agree that it creates job opportunities. I remember in one of the past papers, they said, give the benefits of marketing South Africa as a destination of choice, except job opportunities. And what people wrote, what learners wrote in that year, they repeated it creates job opportunities, which shouldn't be the case because the question was saying except job opportunities. So let us try to think critically when we answer the questions. One other objective was that you should understand the platforms. You should understand places where South Africa or where SA tourism is afforded an opportunity to market tourism. So in the flow diagrams that we have indicated, it shows the point of departure as the tourist visiting the country. That tourist will pay money for goods and services like accommodation, transport, food and beverages, and entrance into attractions and for their activities. So as they pay money for those activities, 1% is collected from those tourists, and that percent is collected by a private sector initiative called TOMSA. In collecting the funds, TOMSA will then make it available to SA Tourism. SA Tourism uses the funds, one, to market South Africa, both domestically and internationally, and two, it uses the money to maintain the infrastructure of or the facilities in the tourism industry, as well as ensure that quality services are rendered to the tourist to match the universal standards. Grade 12 learners, also significantly, what you need to know as far as marketing South Africa are these stages where South Africa, SA tourism, is afforded opportunity to market South Africa. on an international platform, on an international stage, South Africa is allowed an opportunity to market, or SA tourism is allowed an opportunity, is given a stage at ITB Berlin, which we said is held annually in Berlin. Berlin is found in Germany, which is in the continent Europe, to market South Africa with other close to 180 countries of the world. So it allows South Africa to showcase its tourism product on a world stage. It allows South Africa to compete with the rest of other nations at international stage. That is ITB Berlin. And secondly, there is the WTM, which is held annually also in London. London is in England. England is in the continent Europe. So South Africa is also afforded an opportunity to showcase its tourism offering to the world on that stage. And lastly, from this topic, we learned that other platforms can be used to market South Africa as a destination of choice. And we said using the brand logo to advertise attractions on social media, on your internet, on your Facebook, on blog, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on TikTok. So that also forms the basis of the discussion of marketing South Africa as a destination of choice. So I'm giving you instances where South Africa can be advertised, can be marketed on an international platform. ITB Berlin, WTM, and you can also use an internet. So on the home ground, we have other platforms to market South Africa and members of the SADC country, what they offer to international communities. This is a united kind of brand that helps South Africa and other SADC countries to showcase their tourism product to the rest of the world. And this happens in South Africa, that is Cape Town and Johannesburg, as well as Durban. So in we have the gateway that happens annually between the two cities, that is Cape Town in the Western Cape, as well as Johannesburg in Gauteng. So here also exhibitors are given an opportunity to market their products from the home front. Other than that, we have the travel Indaba, which is held annually in Durban, Durban International Convention Center. It also helps to market South Africa as a destination and the rest of the SADC countries as destinations of choice to international communities. Those are platforms that we are working. Another important aspect that you should not leave behind is the brand logo. The advantages of using a brand logo, the benefits of using the brand logo. It incorporates that national pride. So in it, you can read a lot and see the pride that the nation has on just the coloring, on just the picture, where you have the black, the green, the gold, the red, with their explanations. So you can attach a lot of meaning to that, and that in itself, the brand logo inspiring new ways attract a lot of tourists from abroad to come and visit South Africa. From that basis, that is what you need to know about marketing South Africa as a destination of choice. And please, as you study this topic, compare the statistics over the year. How many international tourists have we attracted? And how does this benefit the country's GDP? How does it benefit in relation to creating jobs, in improving the facilities or the infrastructure that we have? And those are some of the aspects that we need to reflect on as we do marketing. So the next topic for discussion is, as it is flagged here, that is foreign marketing. And on that note, I would like to thank you for being such an attentive audience, and I hope you'll do best in this topic. Thank you so much for giving me an audience, and remember to WhatsApp your queries on 079 578 2908. Thank you so much.